Welcome back, and in this video we're continuing a remake of the ZX Spectrum classic Jetpack. So I think what I'm going to do is the drop manager, we need to change a couple of scripts in that. So I'm going to open this one up first of all. So I don't want it to drop anything. Oh, actually, yeah, there's a couple of things we need to do as well. Yeah, let's go and change a couple of things in here. Okay, so scripts here. Let's create another script here called rocket state, and we'll open that up. And rocket state is not going to be a mono behavior, it's actually going to be an enum, so we don't need any of this stuff here. So we're going to have in pieces built, fueling, ready for takeoff. So that's going to be our states for the rocket ship. Then inside the rocket manager, we're going to have public rocket state, state get set, and then that's going to be in pieces. We're going to set it to be that. We probably want to. We probably don't want to set it to be that. We probably want it to be initted. So init rocket position 0. So rocket ID split rocket true. So we're going to say state equals split rocket. Rocket state is going to be in pieces. Rocket state fueling. So that's the two states that it can possibly be. It can either be in pieces or it can either be fueling, and it's only when it's fully fueled will it be ready for takeoff. And then we've got our rocket state there. So in our drop manager, we need to check to see what the state is. So do we have a maximum? Okay, let's have we've got that as less than 4, so let's have it as private static read-only int max items equals 2. And max items, we're going to change that in here to be that. So while the count is less than max items, yeah, okay. Do the drop thing. So for this one here, we actually want to check the state. So we want to say if rocket manager dot instance dot state equals in pieces yield return. Oops. So if it's in pieces, we don't want to drop anything. Else, if rocket manager dot instance dot state equals, I mean, we could make this a switch statement, to be honest, but fueling, decide if we need to drop fuel, else drop gems only. So the flip-flop is going to be public. Oh, it's not going to be public, it's going to be private. Private bool drop fuel equals false. So we're going to say if drop fuel, else do that. Now down here we've got all these things here. So ship is whole, prefab is not whole, blah blah blah, prefab list. So the prefab list, what do we have here? I mean, we have ship as whole, so what do we have? Ship as whole. Where is that? Drop apart. Occupied equals 0. Okay. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to refactor ship as whole, but we're gonna use let's do where is it? Ship as whole. Obsolete. Use the state property. So the nice thing about obsolete is we can mark it as being obsolete, which means that anytime it's referenced, we'll get a warning message. So you can see that down the bottom there. What is whole is obsolete, use the state property. So we can see it straight away that there's a warning there and that we need to act upon that at some point. So right now we don't need to worry about it, but we will in the future. So the drop manager has two lists. So it's got pickup items or it's got fuel. So prefabs no fuel, prefabs no fuel. So prefabs no fuel is all of that there. Okay, so let's grab this here. So if we're going to drop the fuel, then we want to instantiate fuel. There. And we say drop fuel equals not drop fuel. So the next time we come in here, we're not going to drop any fuel. But really we want to be able to instantiate something from the list here. So our prefab list is this list here, which is the pickups. So what's our prefab list? Where's our prefab list? Prefabs. Where's prefab list? Oh, because I cut the prefab list, that's why. Okay, so it's got to be just the pickups. So we probably don't actually need this stuff up here. We just need the pickups. So we don't need that. So what we want to say is game object prefab equals null. Actually, let's make it to be equal to fuel. Otherwise, prefab equals that there. That's got to be length. So get rid of that one. And then we change that to prefab. And then we drag all this to here. So we say if we're not dropping the fuel, so if we're dropping fuel, then we just leave the prefab as is. So if we're not dropping fuel, we need to decide whether the pickup's going to be there. So what we can do is we can just say equals drop fuel, otherwise do that. Okay. And then we add that to the dropped items. So drop fuel is equal to not equal to dropped items. Okay. Because we need to keep a list of the dropped items. So when the we're not doing that in there, so we don't really need to check if that's the case. So we can get rid of that one. And then if we're not fueling, then we're just going to be dropping gems only. So we need to say I mean, this bit of code is repeated, basically. So we can get rid of this section here. So the drop gems is going to be here. Okay. So let's flip that around in its head and say, okay, so if it's not dropped the fuel there, for fueling there, yeah, because you need to have that. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste it in here. I'm okay with that just now. We can tidy this up and refactor it later on, which we never do. But we'll think about it anyway. Okay, so that's that there. We don't need that drop fuel because that doesn't make any sense. And we get rid of all of these, and we get rid of all of these. So that's simplified our function somewhat. So that's out there. So we don't need drop fuel anymore. So inside our drop manager, we need to drop the fuel pod. So while time is less than time, yeah, we need to figure that one out as well. Okay, so now when we run the game, we shouldn't see any dropped items coming in, which is right. But we are. Well, that is no good. So if it's running and dropped items is less than that, else if rocket manager dot instance dot state equals rocket state dot ready for takeoff. Okay. So that's the only time that we can drop fuel. We can drop gems is if we're ready to fuel or we're picking up pieces or we're picking up the fuel. Good grief. This is far too floaty. We need to fix this. And we need to do the animation as well. Okay, so things should start falling now. Yeah, that's not good. We'll put a breakpoint in here. Attach to Unity and here we go. So if the state still says it's in pieces, that's why. Okay, so in our rocket manager, we need to, where's the level? Level equals that. That's a level rocket manager. Here's the bit where it does the drop the part. Ship is whole. Okay, so this is where we start getting into the ship is whole part. So we need to say state equals rocket part ID equals 0, then the rocket state is going to be fueling. Otherwise, it's going to be whatever the current state is. So I don't know what the current state is, but it's I don't want to change it if it's not that. So I only want to set rocket part. I only want to set the state if we're in the fueling state. Otherwise, I'm just going to return that state there, if that makes any sense. And that should fix it. And then, do we need ship as a whole? Don't know if we do at that point because, yeah. Okay, so if we get rid of ship as a whole there, and we get rid of ship as a whole there, error list. So we should start seeing errors now. Console. Oh, I guess that was the only place it was getting used. Okay. Right. Let's go grab the parts. So first part. And second part. Okay. And there you go. There's our first gem. There's our first fuel cell. And that's that there. Okay. So the fuel cell. So a drop manager. So this is causing a bit of a problem. This drop in the fuel. So drop the fuel pod. So it's going to the target is end Y, which is fuel count. Do we have fuel count? What do we set that to be? So we don't actually add fuel count, do we? This is in Rocket Manager, isn't it? Yeah, we need to set the fuel level to be whatever the fuel level is. So inside the drop manager, instead of saying fuel count, that's got to be in the rocket. So let's get rid of fuel count there. And then we're going to say rocket manager dot instance dot fuel level. And it's going to be the same as that. So fuel level, we're going to add to the fuel level. And then inside here, this is where we decide where we are as far as the fuel cell is going. So last fuel level equals fuel level. And then we want to say if equals, let me have a, let's do private static, only int max fuel pods equals 6. Rid of that. Equals ready for takeoff. So once we refuel, it's ready for takeoff. So once we drop that part, transfer position equals that. Actually, we can just do destroy fuel pod. So that's going to get rid of fuel pod, and we also need to remove it from the list. So dropped items dot remove, and it's going to be fuel pod. There we go. Okay, so we're going to remove that from the list and remove it from the scene as well. Okay, let's try that. And once we've got that, and this is pretty much the mechanic for the game, which is collect the parts, collect the fuel cells. There is one thing I'd like to stop though. I think there's a bit of an issue where I get stopped there by VPN. By Bitdefender, sorry. You can probably see it there. Just close that. So we got our gem there, and the next one should be a fuel, and it is. So I'm going to pick it up, and we drop it off here. There we go. So we drop that off, and there's another fuel. This is good. This is almost like the game. So we should be able to pick this up and walk in here. That's just weird. Should probably have a hitbox on there. As soon as it touches that hitbox, then that signals it. Okay, so everything's fueling up nicely. All right, okay, so that's everything fueling up nicely. What else do we need to do here? Yeah, I think we should add a hitbox to our rocket. So we add our rocket first piece. So I think we just have it hit that rocket. It doesn't interact with it, that's the problem. Well, I guess we know where the rocket's going to be. The rocket is going to be at -88 and 44. So it's 44, -88. So I'm going to create an empty object, and I'm going to put it at 44, and -88 and 0. So if I put this into 2D mode and scroll out a wee bit, you can see that it is here. But of course it's actually not -88, it's actually -72, which is there. And if I add a box collider 2D and I make that 16 by 16, actually, if I make that 16 by 16, I can probably bring it down a little bit. Okay, -80. Okay. And then this game object here, we're going to call it fuel drop trigger. And we can have that inside the drop manager, I think that's fine, fuel drop trigger. And we'll make that a trigger, and then we'll add create C# script fuel drop trigger. Okay. And I'll have fuel drop trigger. I'm going to do public void on trigger enter 2D, and it's going to be a collision, and so I need to check to see what it is going to be. So the prefab is going to be fuel, and it's tagged as fuel. So I'm going to say if collision.tag equals fuel. That's the bit I'm interested in. And I'm going to have a public void setup drop manager public void private drop manager that there. Actually, I don't need that. I just need to have the drop manager. I don't need to set it up. Why am I doing that? I'm just making it more complicated for myself. So I can public drop manager, and then I can say drop manager dot add fuel collision dot game object, and then inside drop manager I can have add fuel public void add fuel game object fuel pod, and I can delete that and I can add that, and then it's going to be instead of end y there, it's going to be whatever the y value is for that, which is 80, negative 80. Negative 80. I don't need that. Target is going to be that. And then we lerp down to there. Add fuel. Destroy it. Good to go. Okay. And in that way, it'll all be neat. So in this one here, I've got our box collider, and we need to add the fuel drop trigger. And then I'm going to drag the drop manager onto that there, and that's everything set up. So this won't interfere with, you know, this the play of the game. So that's going to go into here. It just means that it's always going to be hitting that particular target. And to be honest, I could probably bury it just a little bit further into the ground, so that it's not touching over the top, because it probably is going to end too quickly. You see what I mean when I do this. It's going to fall down there, and then yeah. See, it's not deleting. Yeah, it's not deleting it. Okay, so the fuel's not deleting there. Drop the fuel pod. Lerping down to there. What is it? Wait a minute, it's not. My guess is it's not hitting this breakpoint here. It's also going too far down on the road there. Why is that? It does seem a bit strange. Okay. I'm going to put a breakpoint there, and I'm going to run it again. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move the trigger. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, what? That doesn't seem right, does it? Is that right? Jetman's at minus whatever it is. Why Why is that at minus 180? Oh, drop manager, drop manager. Oh, minus 80. Okay, that'll be why. Actually, will it be why? No, it won't. Okay, I'm going to put it in there anyway. Minus 92. D4. Okay, so it should hit. It should hit that anyway. The other thing I need to set up is when you land, we should have the parts all together. I think I did that, but whoa, that was weird. Okay, so collision tag is pick up. Okay, that's right. Oh, right, that's why drop manager's there. Okay, I see why. Okay, so inside here, okay. Tag is fuel, okay. Oh, because it's, okay. I bet it's because it's still doing this here. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, okay. Right. Okay. Well, that's a bit of an issue. Right, so it's getting dropped, but I need to stop this fuel pod from dropping. So in order to do that, I'm going to have drop fuel coroutine equals that. Enumerator. Okay, and then I'm going to do that, and that. That there, and then in here, I'm going to do stop coroutine, and then specify the coroutine, and I'm going to say that equals null, and inside here, I'm going to say if that is not equal to null, return, because I don't want to have two coroutines at the same time, and that should fix that problem there, because it is working, it is hitting the mark, so that's a good thing. And come on, there we go. And there, okay. And we need to change the drop manager thing back up to 96, so that'll fix that. Let's drop that in there. Well, it's working, but it's just not killing that. that instance. Why? Okay. Rocket Manager. So for this one, instance start. That's the drop manager. Where's the rocket manager? Rocket manager start. Net rocket positions 0. And then this one is split rocket is true. So I need to have a I need a public bool rocket initially split equals true. And then pass that into here. And then inside here, uncheck that. So this means that the rocket should be solid now. So that means that the fuel should drop. Oh, we need to change that back as well. Drop manager is going to be at 96, which is back up there. And our fuel drop trigger is going to have to be put down a bit there, minus 190, which is offset from there, which is good. Okay, so now our drop should be gem, which is that one there, which is right, and the next one will be a fuel. And we grab the fuel, drops. Drop manager. Do you know what? I'm wondering if it's easier. Because I think when you pick up the object, pick up. What happens when you pick up the fuel again? Fuel. Oh, it's on the Jetman, isn't it? So if I go to here, so I pick up so if I pick up fuel, goes to here, it sets the parent to be that, and then it disables that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable that. Yeah. So inside our drop manager, I feel that I shouldn't have it inside. I feel like I'm making it more complicated by having it in here. So I think we should get rid of this. Drop fuel pod. I don't think we should have drop fuel inside there. Where's it? What's the error? Drop manager does not contain drop fuel. Okay, so this is in locomotion here. All right, so instead of dropping fuel, set the position to be null, blah, 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 blah. But we also need to set current fuel cell. So enabled true, false. So we reset. So we've set the box collider to be true, and the kinematic to be false. But we also want to move it to another layer so that it gets ignored by the player. Actually, we can change the tag. So what I can say is fuel cell dot collision box get component box collider 2D dot tag equals dropped fuel cell. So that sets that to be there. So that means it's not going to get picked up as a fuel cell. And it also means that gravity is we're just using gravity. So it will just fall the way that it should fall. Okay, add that there. And the fuel, add that there. And that's right, that is falling. Okay. Oh, we get null reference. That's good. There. Now, see, it's allowing us to pick it up again. It's not good. That's less good. Oh, I see. Okay, the tag of this game object. Drop fuel cell tag is not defined. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to create another tag. Oh. Can I not tag it? Actually, can I just do it as that? Can I just clear it? Okay, so my fuel here. Tag name is null and not empty. Okay. Right, well, I guess I can't. So I'm going to add a new one here, which is dropped fuel. And I'm going to save that there. I'm going to put that to there. And then the other one is null exception routine is null. Oh, right, okay. So we want to drop that. We don't want that. Don't want that. And don't want this. Okay. And there we go, one of these. One of them. So we're going to drop it, and we can't pick it up. It's dropping, it's dropping, it's dropping. Boom. So, yeah, but the problem is it's not removing itself. That's the problem. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue. So if I go into the scene, we go to non-2D. Let me zoom in here. You'll see that it is coloring it, but it's not coloring it the right way. So I think drop manager, add fuel. Oh, that's why. That's why that's not working. So we need to change that to dropped fuel. There you go. That's it. All right. Gem, and then fuel's over here probably. There we go. So the fuel drop. Boom. There we go. And that's it again. Oh, there we go. Perfect. We need to fix that as well because those gems can't appear on both sides. That's just going to fall straight down. Oh, that did not work. Oh, because it's drop fuel. Oh, that's an okay. That actually works. I like that. Right, because you got to pick it up. So it can only be drop fuel if you pick it up and then drop it. You can't. Oh, you can still pick it up though. That's less good. But okay. All right. I think I'm gonna stop the video there. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it the old thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it the old thumbs down. Leave a comment below as well. All of these things help rises up in the YouTube algos, and I really appreciate it because it really drives the channel forward a little bit. And as always, if you did enjoy this, you got this far, and you want timely reminders of when I put new videos up, then don't forget to hit the old subscribe button and notification bell, and YouTube will work its algorithms and give unto you these videos, whatever, or not. It's up to you. It's a free country. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.